Good afternoon, everyone. I'm always passionate when invited to talk about financial inclusion, and especially when we are talking about role of fintechs in financial inclusion. So let me start first by introducing our bank. Nine Payment Service Bank is the very first digital bank launched in late 2020, and we are one of five payment service banks. So as the gentleman from NIPS mentioned earlier, that at some point Central Bank of Nigeria decided to leverage on access and technologies that telco companies had and still have across Nigeria. They decided to provide licenses to the four leading telco companies across Nigeria to establish their banks. So the major shareholder of Nine Payment Service Bank is EMTS or Nine Mobile. Nevertheless, we are a standalone digital bank that is on a mission to provide simple, accessible, efficient, inclusive payments, service, and banking products and solutions. And we are all about financial inclusion. So the goal for us when we started was to ensure easy access to useful and affordable financial services from anywhere. So basically what we do, we bring bank to our clients' homes. So there are no paperwork, there are no branches. Basically you open your account in 2 minutes. So, but beyond offering these accessible services, what we are very much passionate about and what we believe that is key element for financial inclusion in Nigeria to happen is focusing on financial literacy. So we want our clients to be aware of all various opportunities across the market and to educate them why they should be part of financial ecosystem. So let me go a step back and make a reference to financial inclusion. We hear this word like buzzing all the time, but what financial inclusion is all about? So the other day, I heard a very funny remark. A lady said that we all know what financial inclusion is. That's when fintechs go to market and they try to take your money to put on their accounts. So it's a funny remark, but financial inclusion is not about that. We truly believe that all individuals and businesses should have access to useful and affordable financial services. What that means in practical terms. It's one thing to access all these financially excluded people across Nigeria and to open accounts for them, but that's not sustainable financial inclusion. The first step for account holders is to start creating and actually recording the data on platform and systems so that they would go to the next step. Next step being providing them access to all financial services that will bring benefits to their lives. Access to capital, access to better healthcare, to better insurance, to pension funds. And it starts with financial literacy. And it also starts with cooperation between all market players. What that means, so that ultimately, this is not a sprint. It's a very, very long marathon, to put it like that. And for this society and economy to grow and thrive, people should have access to capital, affordable capital. And nobody will give loans, not even microfinance banks. Nobody will give loan to a market person that is doing all transactions in cash. So this is where payment service banks and 9PSB come in. So we provide limited, the difference between payment service banks and actually other deposits banks is that we cannot give loans. So that means that how we at 9PSB see our role is that we are building the bridge between those who are financially excluded and deposit banks, building this track record, collecting data, and preparing, educating those who are financially excluded and preparing them to be able to apply for loans that the deposits banks can only offer, being mortgage loans, being car loans, being like all other kind of different loans. So also, I would like to remind us about some numbers in Nigeria. Actually, the funny thing was that 2 days ago, on 23rd of October, we marked 10 years since the Central Bank of Nigeria launched National Financial Inclusion Strategy. It was 23rd of October of 2012. So it was a decade ago. At that time, the numbers are really, really low when it comes to financial inclusion, and central bank has set some really, really high milestones and expectations. I will not run through the numbers, but I will say that a decade later, we see that the needle hasn't moved significantly. And as of today, we have around 40 million of adults Nigerians that are financially excluded across Nigeria. So what are the challenges? Regulation is there, frameworks are there, policies are there. What were the challenges in order to reach those milestones? First, lack of access. We that live here in Lagos, in Victoria Island, we do have internet, we do have power, more or less. But people across Nigeria, they are lacking infrastructure, they are lacking access to internet, they are lacking financial literacy. Then the next challenge is also high access cost, and then we have cultural and society roadblocks. So what are solutions to that? And what are we focusing on is providing localized financial literacy. We know that there are more than 300 tribes across Nigeria that not necessarily speak English. So that means that we have to bring education to them in language that will be simple and understandable for them. Then we also have to create simplified product and processes. That means that we are not trying to enforce what we in FinTech and digital banks see as appealing products to them, but we have to pinpoint their needs and to understand their demands and to complement their way, how they live today in order to basically lead this transition from cash to cashless society. Then also low minimal cost of access. So that means with good platforms, with good solution, we are able to provide lower cost products to them. And then the key one is collaboration among stakeholders. So that means that each and every FinTech player, regulator, and bank has its own role to play in this FinTech revolution, to call it so, like that. So let me tell you, I have 2 more minutes. Let me tell you what at 9PSB, how we are delivering on this. So we are deliberately positioning our bank as bank for all Nigerians. And we are giving priority to all local solutions through partnerships with local talents, with partnership with vendors, with partnerships with different fintechs, payments, different payments providers and banks. So we are all about products. If available in Nigeria, we don't outsource. We buy products and partners with providers here in Nigeria. Then also, as a part of our social objective and recognition of Nigeria as the next major FinTech hub, we are focusing and deliberately seeking out and giving local people like youths, like women, like students, opportunity to learn about financial institutions, to grow and then improve their own circumstances and living. Then the next one, we are mobilizing all available channels across Nigeria. We are talking about FinTech and digitalization, but the reality today is that in order to bring this to people across Nigeria, especially in rural areas, we have to do a lot of legwork. So we are reaching out to those who are unbanked and underbanked, underserved, to bridge the infrastructural gap through agent banking. As of today, we have 8,000 agents across Nigeria in all states. Then USSD, that is understandable, translated in local languages. Then mobile application, and also through partnerships and distribution. And at the end, we are creating an enabling environment in terms of banks' products that we are offering through our API, Open Banking API, for all fintechs and other stakeholders to be able basically to offer last mile services to targeted user across Nigeria. So my time, I have 8 seconds. So I'm very passionate about cause, and if you want to learn more how you can contribute to closing financial exclusion gap in Nigeria, please visit our site. We have a stand booth outside and take a part in this revolution. Thank you very much.